Hello and welcome to our daily market analysis, where we deep dive into 28 different charts to bring you the latest in stocks, indices, commodities, forex and crypto. If you're looking to stay ahead in the trading and investing game, you're in the right place. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more insights and ring that notification bell so you never miss out. Let's run the numbers. If you've ever bought at the top and sold at the bottom, you know how important market timing is, and we have a free printable template at ctksmethod.org. You can pop across there and get one of these sheets that you can fill out yourself. Professional traders look at the entire market structure before they place a trade. And this is what I've done for you here. This is the analysis that I do each and every day, and I'm just sharing it with you. What I saw today, which was incredibly interesting, the Bank of Japan has shifted away from negative rates and is going to support its currency. If you're inside crypto, you would say, who cares, so what? But these are things that we must take a lot of notice of. The dollar-yen chart just absolutely plummeted down on its current trend. It moved from consolidation to a negative monthly trend and from positive to highly negative. This has significant implications across all of the charts that you could trade or invest in. If you're in Forex, you already know that that's going to show that the dollar, the DXY, US dollar currency index, is going to lose steam. And that's exactly what happened on the current trend. It went to weak negative. Also, the monthly trend not looking too crash hot. When the DXY and the dollar-yen combination comes down, you would expect confirmation out of the Aussie dollar and the euro dollar. However, we saw the euro dollar weakening. Why did that occur? The euro area GDP figures came out and the euro area is stagnating currently. Goldman Sachs predicts that the ECB will cut its rates in April. Now, what does all this mean? And we saw the Aussie dollar just do really well on the back of the fact that the Aussie GDP quarter on quarter actually improved, and the September quarter was a blowout, 2.1% up instead of the 1.8% plus that was expected. What we're seeing is all around the world, the signs of the US dollar weakening are on the table. Now you need to know what that means because it's vitally important. It means this, just a very simplistic relationship. If the US dollar goes down, the US dollar currency index goes down, the stock market will go up and crypto will go up. You should always be aware that there's a thing called CTKS structure that underpins every single chart. If a chart is at really high structural support, it can withstand downtrends. If it's at really high structural resistance, uptrends don't matter too much because it can't get through. There's just too many sellers there. That's why understanding CTKS structure is vital. We saw some really interesting dynamics playing out. We saw that gold made a positive pitch forward, as did silver. And what's going on with the yields? The yields also improved. They lost some negativity on their current trend, going positive. You can see the US 2-year is much more, well, it's much stronger than the US 10-year in terms of percentage-based movements. And we can see currently the FOMC meeting on the 13th of December, about 6 days away. The potential of a hike is 2.3%. It was 3.7% 1 day ago. But at the start of the day, it was 0%. And that's why the yields are reflecting the fact that the Fed has a concept of increasing rates, higher for longer. This is why the DXY is not moving in directional correlation with the yields. And also why gold and silver are acting against the current trends. Also, please note that the dollar-yen combination chart inside the service was updated. That's what that little update notification icon means right there. We see copper improved in price, oil improved in price. When oil or any particular chart goes double red right in this corner, and it does so for any protracted period of time, you've got a bit of a turnaround play on your hands. It's exactly the same when things go very green in either corner. you need to be careful of those because once an opportunity can turn into a problem. This is just the way of the markets. The markets are always moving from structural support to structural resistance and back to structural support. We can see that junk bonds is still positive, and there's a positive fresh air gap on junk bonds price at the moment. Now, what does this mean? Most people don't even know about junk bonds. Junk bonds are incredibly important. If junk bonds go really deeply green on the monthly and the current trend, you can be rest assured the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, all the components as well as all of crypto will absolutely skyrocket. Keep your eyes on junk bonds and the DXY. What happened in the main markets? Because of what was occurring with the Bank of Japan, moving to a tightening policy, thereby weakening demand for US debt. We saw that weakness in the DXY, and that naturally translates through to the crypto market as well as through to the stock market. But we need to be aware that new specific items will impact things. For example, even though the S&P 500 started to move from consolidation into positive, the Nasdaq moved from consolidation into positive as well. One thing to note, the Nasdaq has a high level of structural support on it at the current time. That means price should be supported going forward. That's a really good thing. You want to see that little dot there. What happened to Microsoft? Well, Google came out and said, oh, we've got an AI model called Gemini to compete with Microsoft's OpenAI. And the Microsoft shareholders said, we don't like that very much. It's interesting, with Nvidia, it's still consolidating at the current time, but it's moving from a more negative trend into consolidation. But we had some news in Nvidia that AMD is rolling out a new AI chip to challenge Nvidia's dominance. Meanwhile, in Tesla land, Tesla's proposing a new Indian factory, but demanding lower EV taxes. Apple is still positive on the monthly and the current trend. And the iPhone SE4 could get a massive 60% battery boost. TDK, which has 60% of the global lithium-ion cell manufacturing in India, Apple is going into an agreement with them. It's diversifying its supply chain away from China. As far as the fear and greed indicators on the stock market, one day ago it was 62, right now it's 64. This shows us increased optimism. When people get greedy, you can be assured the prices are going up. But what's happening inside the crypto market? It's flatlining, both 72 yesterday and today. At the time of this recording. Where's that recording? Right up here. Turning to our beloved crypto industry, we can see total is in a positive uptrend, and it's also positive for the monthly and the current trend. JP Morgan has slammed Bitcoin, and he's found support with Elizabeth Warren. Whilst Fidelity is going the opposite way and recommending why Bitcoin is an absolute A-grade investment. Depending on what you read, there's a lot of Santa Claus rally and a lot of bull trap articles out there. What we do inside the service, we look at structural levels, and they're really important to look at. Total crypto market cap is coming into some very heavy structural resistance. What does that actually mean? It means that as price goes up, it will start to curve over because structural resistance is hard to get through. It's like a ceiling on price. When it hits that ceiling, it's very likely to just do a retracement. It doesn't mean it's going to go negative and it's the end of the world. Price is always moving in a wave, but the concept is we need to know when it's there. For example, with Ethereum, it had very strong structural support, and it moved from a negative stance on the, consolidation stance on the monthly to a highly positive. It's just an absolute breakout at the moment. That's what this particular structural support does. It's vital to know where it exists. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Please share your thoughts on today's analysis, any charts that particularly caught your eye, or any queries that you might have. One thing that we know, when we come into structural support, that's a fantastic thing. Right now, Solana has been doing really well, and BitMEX exchange founder Arthur Hayes said Solana can hit a $100 price target. Thank you, Arthur. Solana has been doing incredibly well recently, and you can see these little red arrows. This is from my live trading account. You can see these are sells. I've been selling out on Solana. And some of these absolute and annualized ROIs are just staggering. You'll notice that my trades on Solana are quite unusual because what I've been doing is selling on green, but I haven't been buying. Why is that? When we look at the CTKS method markup of Solana, and that's available through the indicator. If you want this indicator, pop across to ctksmethod.org. We can see that there's a fresh air gap. It was a positive fresh air gap of more than 19.34%. That's fantastic. And then we came into structural resistance at 68.41, 70.08, and up further, increasing levels of resistance. And this resistance is not recent indicative price resistance. It's resistance from nearly 1,200 days of data. The problem is this: if Solana loses this specific structural level, it has a negative fresh air gap below it of more than 16%. And if we drew that up to the current price, it's even more. If Solana gains weakness in here, it's going to fall, and quite dramatically, and it will catch many people off guard. One thing that traders do, they don't fall in love with what they trade. They love people, but not the thing they put money into. Traders are also into timing the market. They need their cheat sheet. They need to understand how macro factors are impacting the stock market and the crypto market. Then they look at structure to determine what the best opportunities inside the market are. Solana will always be a good opportunity, but that doesn't mean that trading or traders will focus purely on Solana. They'll seek to focus where there's strong structural support and positive fresh air gaps, where price can move up very dramatically. They will seek to avoid situations where there's strong structural resistance, and especially very strong structural resistance, as in the case of Doge. And that strong structural resistance is pushing Doge backwards just currently. It doesn't mean that a particular project can't break through structural overhead resistance. It just means it tends to flatline and wobble around and consolidate. One thing is very interesting with BNB. There's been in excess of $1.3 billion of positive net inflow into the Binance exchange today, and it was over $1 billion yesterday. That is very fundamental in terms of driving BNB's price, because people will want to trade with a discount, and that's what BNB offers. BNB currently has strong structural resistance, strong structural support as well, and a positive fresh air gap. BNB has it all. If the shorts get liquidated, they could go en masse in BNB, and I would expect a very surge upward candle only to be suppressed and find its way going all the way back down. It's not going to help the short sellers as well, because BNB is going to conduct the BEP20 network upgrade and hard fork on the 7th of December. It's improving the network. Also, that we saw in Bitcoin. Bitcoin short sellers lost over $6 billion. Jack Dorsey's Block Inc. launches a self-custody Bitcoin wallet, and Sam Altman is seeking $100 million for a Bitcoin private credit fund. All really good news. It was also Dogecoin's 10th anniversary. And the Doge One satellite funded by Dogecoin is now expected to be launched in January 2024 by Elon, of course. As a professional trader who focuses on the crypto market, I'm really interested in Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. I'm taking profits in Solana, ADA, and Doge. Ethereum looks really interesting. BNB, for fundamental reasons, could shock a lot of people. And XRP is just finding its legs, but Uphold has launched a self-custody wallet supporting XRP tokens, and XRP, parallel stablecoin, the PSC pilot project phase 1 has been a success. When it comes to JP Morgan slamming Bitcoin, and with the help of our good friend Elizabeth Warren, It's probably good to note that JP Morgan shouldn't really be throwing any stones because its house is a glass house, but how glassy is it? Since the year 2000, JP Morgan has managed to accumulate $39.3 billion worth of fines for financial offenses, toxic security abuses, investor protection violations, mortgage abuses, banking violations, consumer protection violations, and it goes on and on and on. Meanwhile, same day, Fidelity Investments comes out and says Bitcoin and Ethereum are hitting adoption. And when it comes to the price paths for Bitcoin, Fidelity Investments expects out at 2033 Bitcoin to be worth at least a minimum of $90,800 up to $384,200. You are very early. And if you're in crypto, it's because you haven't been listening to JP Morgan. I'd like to do a call out to Call Me Sledge, who for the first time made a comment. Woohoo, my friend, you're awesome. Call Me Sledge said the market timing cheat sheet makes it easy to understand how the markets are interdependent and intercorrelated. My focus is exclusively on crypto, but I've traded everything over my 35 plus years inside financial markets. What I would have been doing when US oil was so incredibly red, I would have been buying. Now it's starting to strengthen. You'll find from one day to the next, this particular cheat sheet will give you so much alpha. It covers literally everything that you need to know, and it's only one sheet. When you learn how to read it, it will be just a godsend to you. Typically what happens, people only look inside one specific chart and they ignore everything else. This is a newbie mistake, and it takes a long time to unlearn and actually realize that it's a mistake in the first place. Professionals generally don't share that kind of knowledge. I'm here to help you. I want you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. The way you get there is through knowledge and not gambling. I believe the film Dumb Money, the GameStop story should be compulsory viewing for everybody who wants to trade or invest. It shows the story of people getting into GameStop, GME, and it just shows this parabolic runoff. But what happened from there? GameStop just decayed. Can you imagine buying at $80 as a lot of people did and only to see it trading at $16.36 right now? Unfortunately, this happens all too often, and there's a complete mindset that goes with this story. I want you to be able to understand for yourself to know when to buy and when to sell. It's vitally important. Why have a multi-million-dollar investment only to decay to nothing or go into loss? That's why I'm sharing the internal cheat sheet with you. This is the tool that I use on a daily basis. And I'll keep improving it so I give you the greatest edge possible. Thank you for watching our market analysis. If you found this information valuable, please show your support by hitting that like button, leaving a comment with your insights, and subscribing for more daily updates. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.